Hi, Jay Zacharias, founder of triathlonexperts.com. Tip number 10 is one of those ones that I always kind of struggle with because I'm kind of a caffeine addict. And it's one of the things that you want to avoid, particularly in a few days leading up to the race, but ideally in the last couple of weeks leading up to the race. So if you're someone who likes caffeine a lot, then what I would recommend is to cut it to like half decaf, half caffeinated coffee in like 2 weeks out, and progressively try and reduce the amount of caffeinated coffee. The idea here is that you get the best rest that you can. One of the most effective ways to recover, and especially during your taper and even afterwards a bit after the race is over, is sleep. And to get more a restful sleep, you need to reduce the caffeine a bit, because you already have a lot of energy because you're tapering, you're not going to be training as much anyway. But the caffeine tends to make us a little bit jumpy and edgy, and some of us are so used to it that we don't even notice it that much. But I found that it's very effective if you reduce it down, and I know many coaches that would recommend this. And then when you get to race morning, then the effects of the caffeine are really significant on your race. It'll give you a real jump. Now, whether or not you start your morning off with caffeine or save it during the race, that's really up to you. I've seen recommendations both ways. I tend to have a cup of coffee early, right off the bat in the morning, because I find it also helps, besides jumping me awake, it also helps with my digestion, and that just makes me feel better when I'm heading off to the transition areas. Ideally, if I can find it, I like to get espresso, because that way I don't have the volume and I don't find myself, in one of those long porta potty lines, hoping to get through, so I can get back and set up my bike and get ready for the race. So the real key is go easy on the caffeine, particularly in the days leading up to the race, but ideally in a week or two before. Keep it to a minimum. Try to get the best rest you can, and then reintroduce it on race day so that you can really feel a significant effect. And what you also find is that as the race goes on, since it's been out of your system, that it can give you that jump start. And the last tip I'll put in here is, for those of you who don't know, that when you get into the run portion, I would recommend maybe taking in a little bit of flat Coke or cola or something like that, caffeinated beverage, because that simple sugar combined with the caffeine tends to give you that little bit of a blast at the end of the race, and that can feel really special when you're getting ready and you can pass some of your friends on the way into the finish line.